And we're back. Mike Cernovich, DangerandPlay.com. Gorilla Mindset. We're live. I'm going to post the link on Twitter, though. Still building up the YouTube subscriber base. So right now, nobody knows. Nobody knows I'm live. That's just the way it is. So you gotta hold on a second. YouTube Live, my live events. There you go. We're back. Getting it moving. Mike Cernovich Live. Here we go. Twitter link. Mike Cernovich Live Q&A. How you guys doing? What's going on? What's good? I had a little insight, a little observation the other day. You know, why is it that liberals unfriend people, block people, end friendships over politics, and also why has the left been formidable? To them, this is war. The left fights like we're in a war. The right fights like we're in a conversation. So it's a big difference. If you think that this is a war and that you have moral certainty, which is a very dangerous thing to have. The left has moral certainty. They really believe that this is warfare and it's dangerous. But that's also what gives them an advantage. So how you doing this Sunday? I got both dogs here. I got Dante. I know because I know everybody likes the dogs. Come here, Dante. Oh, we got both dogs. Here's Dante. People wondered what happened to Dante. Now Julius wants up here. Will you please keep on highlighting the fake news? Yeah, of course. It's kind of like my thing. So this one is Dante. Let's see if we can get Julius up here too. Oh, can we get you both? Can we get you both? Hold on, don't fall. All right, we got both of them now. We got the two. They're both Aussie Doodles. It's a Aussie poodle mix. They're pretty wild though. They're ready to go. They're ready to go on a hike. We're gonna, yeah. Here they are. All right, boys. You wanna stay here? All right. If they wanna sit here, I guess we can let them. Yeah, this is Julius. Follow my Snapchats. We've been doing, nice little hikes. We do about 4 to 5 miles, and there's little hills, so we run the hills, and then Julius is trained off leash. Julius is trained off leash because why? Because I trained him. That's why. Because I train dogs. Mindset training. Dante, I trained a little bit, but I didn't have him long enough to train off leash. Snapchat handle is Mike Cernovich. One word. MikeCernovich. Yeah, so Julius is off leash trained. So what we do, so we take him for nice walks. Otherwise, I got a new chair coming in. The little things in life. I got a new chair coming in. This chair is squeaky. What happened to the Friday night show? Yeah, Friday night I had to call off because I had something big come up. Had a meeting with some lawyers. But we'll be on Right Side tomorrow. We'll be right back on Right Side broadcast tomorrow with the fancy green screen. That's what the green screen is for. Right Side. Wow, why is Snapchat... Did Snapchat delete my... Did they delete my account? Snapchat Mike Cernovich. Weird. Hey, guys! Hold on, I'll Snapchat Mike Cernovich. Gorilla Mindset. Ooh, I like how there's a little crown there. So what else is going on? I only got a few minutes. I'm just practicing. Well, not practicing. I'm building up my subscriber base. My YouTube game. Hey, we're not barking here. We don't bark. You guys know that. Is that understood? Yeah, my YouTube game has been weak, so we're building up my YouTube game. Mike, should we take it as a compliment when you and I are called? I don't take it as a compliment if I call the Nazi on Twitter. It just makes them look kind of dumb. It makes them look dumb. Bad rhetoric. This is much better quality than Periscope. Yeah, so people are telling me, man. I was grousing about that yesterday. I built up this huge platform on Periscope. And now I have to start anew on YouTube. I only have 18,000, so I have to start all over here. But you know what? It's a good life. Thoughts on the INTJ life? It's a great life. Life is INTJ. Is on point. Harder to connect with people though. So I've taken you gotta listen to my podcast. I've done a lot of work. If you're an INTJ, you have to put a lot of work in to learn how to communicate with other people. We live in our own little worlds, and what other people do is almost like they are a different race or a different species. Communicating with other people, the things that, I always remembered it was weird. I don't know, and I still feel like it to this day. Like when I would see people dance at like a nightclub or something, I would think, is everybody pretending that this is fun? Because this is not fun. It was a necessary thing to do to meet women or whatever for the the mating thing, but I would think, are these people really having fun, or is this some kind of collective delusion that everybody has? I never really understood that, and to this day I don't. I watch people at a club, and I'm thinking, are they all pretending to have a good time, or are they really having a good time? And maybe they just have a different psychological makeup than I have. Because to me, none of that isn't fun. Never was fun. Just something he had to do. Hi, Florian. How are you? What's new? Ask me anything. AMA. Hit the like button. Smash the like button. Who can beat Trump in 2020? Man, that's 4 years away. A lot can happen in 4 years. The person who could beat Trump in 2020 is the person who can pick up those white Rust Belt voters in the swing states, right? Tulsi Gabbard, maybe. Cory Booker, no. Cory Booker's a stooge for the pharmaceutical companies. Cory Booker doesn't have charisma. Cory Booker could run a Hillary Clinton-esque campaign. And as we've seen, a Hillary-esque campaign will win you the popular vote, but you won't win the electoral college. You won't win the electoral vote. Cory Booker, no. The person who can win in 2020 as a Democrat is going to run a completely different playbook, so you can't even predict it. Nobody can predict. Anybody talking about Cory Booker or Elizabeth Warren or whatever is they're still using the old playbook. They don't even know what they're talking about. The person who's going to win in 2020 you haven't even heard of, or you haven't even thought of or envisioned as a president, because it'll have to be a real change candidate. So in 2020, I'm not going to make a prediction. What is it? 20? Yeah, no way will I make a prediction on what's going to happen, because it is going to be a dark horse candidate. Unpredictable candidate. To be honest, it'll be somebody like me, really. I mean, if you think about it, if I had run as a Democrat against Trump this past election, right? It'd be a different race. It would have been a different race, because I would have talked to the white working class voters who are ignored and had been forgotten and had been neglected. It'd be a different race. Bernie v. Trump would have been a different race. I always said Bernie versus Trump was the election people wanted to see. The American people wanted to see. What's up, man? Like your vids. Thank you. Like your vids, too. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. These are my new periscopes. How is the mainstream society going to make big changes under Trump? I don't know what you mean. Be more specific. Do you think Canada will vote out their liberal government? I don't know. Probably too late. Why does nobody talk about the Illuminati card game? We talked about that in a periscope like 6 months ago, bro. You're way behind us. The Illuminati card game. The Illuminati card game did something that a lot of people do. So here, I'll tell you, for those of you who don't... Hey, guys, what do you don't know? So for those of you who don't know, the Illuminati card game predicted the attack on the Twin Towers because there were 2 burning buildings in the card. if I create a deck of cards with 52 predictions, and then one of those predictions comes true, people are like, wow, Cernovich predicted this 20 years ago in this deck of cards. Well, no, I didn't predict that event. I made a bunch of random guesses, and then if you make enough guesses, then you're going to be right. That's why a lot of people say, man, I predicted, you'll hear them to this day, people say, I predicted the market decline in 2008. I predicted it. And then I always ask those people, okay, show me when you shorted the market. And they go, what do you mean? And I go, show me when you shorted the stock market, because if you claim you predicted the stock market collapse in 2008, 2009, then surely you would have shorted the market and made a fortune. Oh, well, you know, no, the answer is people have been saying every year since I was a kid, Elliott wave theory, right? I was reading Elliott wave theories when I was a young man and didn't know any better and was a dumbass and didn't understand probabilities and survivorship bias and all these cognitive biases. People have been, the market is going to crash. There's a housing bubble. Well, if you say that every year, right, for 10 years, then eventually there's a bubble, eventually it collapses, and then you go, oh, I predicted it. Well, what about when you predicted it in 1999, in 2000, in 2001, in 2002, in 2003, in 2004, right? They pretend that never happens. So all these people run out to say, I predicted the market collapse in 2008 and 2009. Did you short the stock market? No. You didn't fucking predict then. Sorry, Cyrus not home, but I still shouldn't cuss. You didn't predict the market collapse. You made a doomsday prophecy every year for 20 years or 30 years in a lot of cases. And then finally, a doomsday event happened, like I predicted. Same thing with Trump. Once Trump won that GOP nomination, you know what? People just crawl out of the woodworks. Man, I predicted Trump was going to win. And I go, well, let me see your prediction. And the prediction was people go, you know, I think Trump is going to do better than people think. Right? So out of the woodworks, all these people, oh yeah, man, I totally predicted Trump was going to win the primary. Totally. And then they link to these things where they said, oh yeah, Trump is not getting the credit he deserves. Saying Trump is going to do better or might do better than people think, not a prediction. As Stefan Molyneux would say, not an argument. Cernovich's thing is not a prediction. Saying, I think Trump will do better than people think. Not a prediction. I like Trump. Not a prediction. Trump will surprise a lot of people. Not a prediction. A prediction is Trump will win the GOP primary posted on this date. Go find my date. That is a prediction. A prediction must be falsifiable. And it must be, by falsifiable, I mean it is true or false. I said early on, before anybody knew about Trump was going to run, before I knew about it, I said, if somebody in the GOP acted like me and ran for president, they will be president. I said that over 2 years ago. People thought I was crazy, loco. I go, if somebody is like me and they run, they will win the GOP. People go, no. And then with Trump, I never even paid attention to politics. I don't know anything about politics. And then when Trump ran the primary, I didn't even care. I wasn't even watching politics. And then I go, wait, this Donald Trump guy, who I didn't know much about, acts just like I act. He is going to win the GOP primary. Prediction. Trump will win the GOP primary. Dated July 2000 and whatever. Back when they said Trump had an 8% chance to win, I said this guy's going to win the primary, and I said he's going to win it all. That's a prediction. That isn't saying, I think Trump is going to do great, man. People don't know that Trump's better than he's getting credit for. Not a prediction, not a prediction, not a prediction. So people did that with Trump. They did that with the stock market. They do it with everything. Well, that's the Illuminati, to get linked back to it. That is called, and Scott Adams even talks about it, although you should read a full book about cognitive biases. But he has a list of cognitive biases, and I'll just tell you the cognitive biases that you should be alert of. Okay? The cognitive biases that you should be alert of, right? So one of them is survivorship bias. What is survivorship bias? It's probably one of the most important cognitive biases that you'll ever have. If you make 1,000 predictions, right, just by random chance, you're going to have some of those survive. They're going to live. And then you're only going to pay attention to the ones that live, and then you're going to backtrace why they were right, even though it was completely wrong. The survivorship bias comes from in war. A lot of people will tell you if you're running in a line of people, and the guy to the left of you is shot, and the guy to the right of you is shot, that's just luck. You don't go and say, you know what, the reason I survived that shootout and that gun event is because of da-da-da-da-da, and I'm going to become a pundit telling people how I survived a war. No. Who's here? Oh, they're just playing. Right? That is survivorship bias. The same thing with market funds. If there are 1,000 new stock market index funds today, well, they wouldn't be an index fund, but we'll call them mutual funds. If there's 1,000 new mutual funds this year, some of them are going to make it. Some of them aren't. And then in 5 years, some of them will be alive. And then in 10 years, some of them will be alive from the original 1,000. And people go, boy, that fund that's been around for 10 years, that's the fund. And the guy or the girl who manages that fund, they're a genius. Well, that's your survivorship. But how do you know they're a genius? How do you differentiate between luck or skill? Because if you have 1,000 funds, new mutual funds, you're going to have a big winner at the end that is indistinguishable from luck or skill. It's just, well, you have 1,000. Somebody was going to win and somebody was going to lose. How do you know what it was? Same thing with the Illuminati card game. They'll say, oh my gosh, this card game predicted this event. Well, what else did they predict? Right? How many predictions were actually made? Right? And you got to do that for everything. So I predicted Donald Trump would win the primary. I predicted he'd win the presidency. I don't think I predicted he'd win the popular vote, though. I said he would win. I didn't think he would win the popular vote, though. I don't think I predicted that. I knew it was going to be close. You never heard me say it was going to be a landslide. You never heard me say Trump is going to win by a landslide. No, no, no. I predicted Trump was going to win, but I didn't think he was going to win by a massive margin. I didn't think he was going to win by a massive margin. I knew it was going to be a tough race all the way to the very end. And I also predicted the enthusiasm gap and that the polls would not be consistent with the answers and responses. The voting and the polls would be inconsistent. Why? Because the enthusiasm gap. So that's the whole point. You have to have, what am I drinking? Cold brew coffee. Cold brew coffee. So a lot of people are now in the argument of saying, a lot of people are saying Trump did win by a landslide. I don't care. You know, I'm not going to get into the weeds of all that. But I always knew it was going to be a tough race because the Democrats, man, they have better get out the vote drives than we do. I mean, let's be honest. They are better organized and they have better get out the vote drives than we do. When I had to start MAGA 3X because the GOP was so utterly failing in getting out the vote and getting people registered to vote and getting first-time voters to the polling places, I had to start my own thing and spend my own money. Man, that's why people are like, Mike, why aren't you doing more for Trump thing? People can start paying me. I did enough for free last year to save Western civilization. I did enough for free. And I did it way better than the GOP and way better than all these consultants. They can start paying Big Daddy, and if they don't, fine then, good luck. We see what happens when I kind of go quiet. We see what happens. It isn't good for them. So some super PAC or something can come talk to me. But they're all idiots anyway. They're not even smart enough to know how great I am. That's how incompetent they are. The GOP is so incompetent, they can't even recognize true competence. What are you going to do, man? I'm catching up on my reading. I read this book a long time ago, by the way. But I bought a paper copy so I could promote it. Because I had it on my Kindle. And I thought, you know what? You should promote the book for Scott Adams more. Why should I promote it? Because it's a great book to improve your life. That's what a lot of people don't realize is that this is a common mistake people make. If I promote Scott Adams' book and you read it and you like it, that doesn't shade me. It doesn't make you not read Guerrilla Mindset. That makes you trust me more. So what you have with all these, I call them basic bitches, they're so obsessed with sharing credit and giving people shout outs, and they'll steal your ideas, they'll steal your memes, you know these people, who they do it. You'll tweet something good, a good meme, and then like 10 minutes later, you're like, wow, that looks familiar. You know, that looks like a familiar meme. Fascinating, you know? The idea is, I promote everybody, man. Why? Because if I give you good content and I bring you new content, introduce you to great new people, you're going to like me more and you're going to trust me more. It's called James Altucher, another good guy. I should buy his paperback so I can promote it more. Google doesn't create content. Google just curates it, brings you other people's content. And we all love Google even though they hate us. So the same is true with me. If I can promote other people's books, podcasts, YouTubes, Twitters, whatever, even if those people never give me the old reach around, right? Even if they never promote me, because I usually promote people way more than they promote me. But I don't get jaded if they don't give me the old reach around, because I've created more trust and given more value to people who come to me, so then people are going to keep coming to me for more value. So you got to think that way. Most people don't think that way, especially in this media business. They're all thinking about ripping you off and stealing your ideas and stealing your stories and pretending like you don't even exist, stealing your memes. I can't see your comments on the screen for some reason. I don't know if I pushed a bad button. Show. Hold on. Let me see if I can see. Oh, there they are. Okay, so I had them hidden. What do we do as an everyday routine to beat and bury MSM for good? I mean, they're getting angry. Keep encouraging Trump to boycott CNN. Do you believe... Yeah, Hillary's sick. I mean, come on, guys. They're the Walking Dead. Here, let me show you this tweet from earlier today. Just pretend that you're not a doctor. We'll do a thought experiment. Imagine that you don't think you're a doctor. All right? Start in that frame. Don't think of yourself as a doctor. Just think of yourself as you're a human being who has evolved for all these generations, millennia. You're just a human being. And you're out taking a... Wow, I'm looking good, huh? Well, I better contain that. I better contain that. You're just a human being walking out in the park. And you walk by these two people. You're not a doctor. You're not making a diagnosis. You're just a regular human being and you've evolved as a person. Tell me what you think when you see that picture. So go ahead. You're not a doctor. You're not a clinician. You're not making a diagnosis. You're just out in Central Park in New York. And you come upon that image. Right? People wanted that in the White House. I mean, think about that. Right? Are you looking at that and be like, wow, those people should be leading the free world? Right? Are you going to look at that and think, I want those people leading the free world? Right? You're not going to. You're not going to. And that's just the reality. You're not going to look at that picture. You're not going to look at this and say, wow, those people, man, that, look at Bill. You're not going to look at these people and think, I want them in the White House. Right? You're not going to think that. So that's why I always laugh when people go, Cernovich started this conspiracy theory about Hillary's health. All they can do is look at them and say, these people are not well. They're not well. That's 100% for sure. They are not well at all. Just use your brain. Bill hit that age where, oh man, Bill's bad. Syphilis we hear. I don't know for sure what it is, but Bill has been with some hookers and druggies and you name it. Mike, any advice to deal with chronic illness? Depends what your illness is. Definitely you need to do Epsom salt baths. You need to take a lot of magnesium, for sure. And mud baths with Dead Sea mud. Minerals. Minerals. All right, what are your other questions? What can we do about rinse priebus? Well, we're working on it. I wonder how many prescription drugs there are on. Me too. There's a reason they never released those medical records, that's for sure. Will you be writing another book? I am writing another book. Audacity, how to go from nobody to somebody. Online branding. I think about it every day. I've thought about Audacity, which I haven't written yet. Haven't even started writing yet. I've thought about Audacity and written in my own head every day for probably 2 years. A lot of what I'd done, I did only to create a meta awareness of audacity. That's why I did the New Yorker profile. The the New Yorker messaged me and they said, we want to do a profile on you, and we'd fly a guy out and he'd spend 3 days with you, and I'm like, I don't need a New Yorker profile because I can write a blog, right? I'd rather write blogs. But I spent 32 hours with the New Yorker guy. Good guy, by the way. Liberal, but, nice guy. Smart guy. But I figured, well, if I have the New Yorker profile on me, that's like a checklist for audacity. So I can now say, done that. Been in the real media. The real media, right? Because that's another thing you got to realize is that a lot of people don't realize that what I do is real media. So you wake them up. And people go, Mike, you just say you turn down media, but you don't really turn down media because you never get invited. I'm like, well, you can read about me in the New York Times and every other prestigious publication out there. And I turn them down. You're going to watch Silence today. Good. I have a documentary on free speech. You can only watch it on Vimeo. I'll send you a link. You got to watch this. Great flick. Very scholarly and astute. I'll post a link here. Say something. You're buying your 3rd copy of Gorilla Mindset because you keep giving it away from people. Good man. Appreciate that. Silenced. Our war on free speech. Why do you do more videos on YouTube? What am I doing now? Huh? Right? I'm literally... You remind me of my mom. You know why I quit talking to my mom? Because I'd call her and she'd be like, why don't you call me more? And I'm thinking, well, I'm calling you right now, and you're asking me why I don't call you more. So I'm literally doing YouTube video now. Why aren't you doing more YouTube videos? Well, I'm literally doing them right now. So you're probably a serial complainer in your life. And you need to read Gorilla Mindset. Reread it if you've already read it. Shauna is a brown troll like Jeb's wife. You made fun of, but you are a loser. Shauna's hot. Shauna is definitely not. First of all, brown, I don't know how that's an insult. I don't know how. Middle Eastern women are beautiful. Lebanese women are beautiful. Persian women are beautiful. So the whole, some of them are ugly, but so are some white people too. So if you're thinking brown people are ugly, then you're probably not getting laid at all. So by anybody. Will we see more Antifa and BLM riots? Yes. Jew shill. Who? Me? Should you buy Gorilla Mindset? If you have to ask, you're not ready. If you have to ask if you should buy Gorilla Mindset, then you're not ready for the take charge lesson of Gorilla Mindset. So I would say you're not ready. When you know what you have to do and you just do it, it's kind of like, I read this book already. Read it already. Read it twice. I didn't think, should I spend $13 and buy a paperback? If you're the kind of person who agonizes before buying a $10 book, then you're not really my tribe. Because my tribe are hardcore readers. If anything, I don't want to say it the wrong way. If anything, they annoy me because they're like, I read all these books you recommended, recommend me more. And I'm like, damn, I better read more books than these people are on my ass for more recommendations. Do I have ant money? You mean like Anthony Cumia? I doubt it. He's pretty rich, isn't he? Then again, I don't spend much money. So, very hard to know the net worth of people. Because there are a lot of people who make way more money than I make, but I don't even have a car. Right? I'm too cheap to buy myself a car. And I've been looking at cars, and I'm buying a used car with 30,000 miles. Even I could go buy a Ferrari right now, brand new, right? Just swipe the old card. I don't even own a car because I'm like, well, how much money if I saved? Da-da-da-da-da, and I'm going to buy a used car. Right? My rent is way less than it should be. Right? I could be living in, anywhere I want to live. Why? Because it ain't what you make, it's what you spend. That's where people go wrong. Believe me, I know a lot of people make a lot of money. And I've made a lot of money in my day. Not just from being divorced, but from other sources as well. And it ain't what you make, it's what you keep. So I'm very conscientious about how I spend money. So who knows how much these people really have, really? Who knows who is really richer than I am? You never know. Because I know people who make more money a year. Literally, this is true. I know people who make more money in a year, friends of mine. They make more money in a year than I make. But they have less money, net worth. Why? Because they blew it on an ex-wife and ungrateful women that they married and the Louis Vuittons and all that stuff, right? Whereas me, I'm just stashing. So the way you got to be, you got to put it up in trust funds so people can't get it. Mike, are you Jewish? What do you think? Do you think, am I Jewish? Yes or no? Am I Jewish? Will I go back on the Dick Show? I went on Dick Masterson's podcast. I had a great time. His audience hated me. So that was weird. So Dick Masterson actually had read Guerrilla Mindset. He was a pro-Trump guy. We have a similar worldview. So he figured, hey, come on my podcast. My guys are going to love you. It'll be a good conversation. And they hated me. There was like a mutiny. I've actually never gotten more hatred in my life than I got after being on Dick Masterson's podcast. So doubt I'll be on it again. I don't think it'd be good for Dick's Patreon to have me back on. So my advice to Dick Masterson would be, do not have me on your podcast again, because you probably lose a lot of Patreon contributions. I do look like a little Dickie. I get that often. Thoughts on the Mandela effect? I talked about that previous. I'll do my own separate video on the Mandela effect. My squeaky voice makes you want to kill yourself. Well, me and Mike Tyson both say, hi. Hi. You know what I've learned in life? You know who has never complained about my voice? I'll give you one guess. Pop quiz. What demographic in my entire life has never had anything to say about my voice? Right? Women. Women love my voice. Women love it. Teenage boys, they don't really like it. But women love it. So in my life, I have to think. Teenage boys, women. Whom would I rather have like me? Hello from France. Hi. I lived in Paris. No, I'm not drinking Starbucks. I'm drinking cold brew from a small business down the street. Why did Shauna and I get married? Because she had great parents. True story. True story. Don't marry for love. You marry for compatibility, and you marry for her family. Right? Think about it. Marrying for love. Love is a drug, and it wears off. Good family values are, how you doing, Neil? Good family values are habit, practice. Do you want the woman you love? Do you want her parents watching your children? Could you trust them? Could you go to do journalism in a foreign country for 2 weeks and just say, hey, I got to go do some journalism for 2 weeks. I'm going to do a documentary. And then go, and then your wife just goes and stays with her parents. And they're all there with your daughter, with your children. Right? That's literally my life. I could say right now, hey, I got to go do some journalism. I'm going to go cover this hot breaking news story wherever. Now, I wouldn't go to Syria because that would be reckless and my pictures passed around. They'd kill me. But I could go to, other places, and I could say, I'm going to go do this. And they would be like, okay, cool. Be safe. Take care. Good deal. Right? Shauna's mom in the morning. My life is great. Here's what I love. People go, Mike looks tired. And I go, I'm not tired. I'm not ignoring your question, Angela, but I'm answering other questions. Right now, right? Grandma every morning is like, I want to see baby. I want to see Syra every day. And she's great. So it's a very traditional Set up. So that is the only reason in the world, you ever get married. Otherwise, be YOLO. Be YOLO. If Shauna's parents had been garbage, then I would just be like, hey, I can't be with you, because I'm not going to deal with in-law drama. Think about mother-in-law. Loaded term. Mother-in-law is a loaded term. Ugh, mother-in-law. Well, then you shouldn't have married your wife. You shouldn't have married your wife because you're marrying the whole family. You're not marrying a woman. You're marrying a whole entire family. So if you don't like the mother-in-law, if you don't like the father-in-law, you got to have the gorilla mindset and you have to move on. Go find someone else or be YOLO. The YOLO life is good. I wouldn't want to be living that right now. I wouldn't want to be living it like right now. But it's fun for a while. The Serbian girl you met in Belgrade, I can't read your comments. They're coming up. The Serbian girl you met in Belgrade wants to take a vacation to Spain. She's going to ask you to pay for the trip. I don't want her BF. Oh, this is easy. So I'm going to give you the real red pill wisdom. Right? I don't give dating advice anymore. Why? Because it attracts a very toxic loser type of people. So here's this guy question. A Serbian girl I met in Belgrade wants to take a vacation to Spain with me. She's going to ask me to pay for the trip. I don't want to be her BF. Should I pay though? I'm balling. Dude, a beautiful girl wants to travel with you and hang out and have fun and have sex. Oh, but you have to pay. Oh my God, you gotta buy a plane ticket. That's so beta. Oh, you're such a beta male. So there's this whole subculture of the internet where they would be like, oh man, she's a gold digger. Don't do that. You should never pay. An alpha male would never pay. Meanwhile, these guys are spending 8 to 12 hours every weekend plucking their eyebrows and putting on the right outfit. I'm running game, bro. I'm going to run game. I'm going to go spit some lines at the women and spend all that time. And they'll tell you that if you want to fly a girl out, that that's beta. Those people are so pathetic. But that's why I don't write about any kind of like game or any relationship advice. Plus, if the girl's from Serbia, she's got no money. You know when I found out how... Do you know when I find out how all these guys I kind of liked, I found out they were complete and total losers? I found out they were these guys I liked, and I realized these guys are fucking losers, the biggest losers in the world. How did I figure it out? Well, because I'd been married, and then when I was divorced, I started dating younger women, and all these guys would be like, I never buy a girl a drink. I'll never buy a girl a drink at all. And I was like, okay, I just figured that was the game. Young girls don't make any money. I realized they were all liars. I realized they were all frauds. Especially if you're my age or younger, 22-year-old girl, they don't have money. They can't buy their own drinks. So all these guys on the internet are like, yeah, man, I'd never buy a girl a drink. That's a beta male. Only a beta male would buy a girl a drink. How the hell are you dating these girls then? They don't have any money, right? 22-year-old girls don't have any money. Neither do 22-year-old guys. So these men would be like, oh yeah, when I go out, I never buy girls. And I realize they're lying. They're not actually dating women at all, let alone younger women. Younger women have no money. Right, some guy's going, LOL, what white knighting mindset. That's how I know that you actually don't meet women. That's how I know that you're a fraud. That's why I don't ever write about any game stuff anymore, because I know you're a fraud. And 99 comments are going to be frauds like yours. Because I can tell you 22-year-old girls don't make any money. They all got student loan debt. They're all broke. They're living in dingy, especially in a city like New York or LA or San Francisco. They're crammed into apartments. They barely can pay their rent. But you're never going to buy them a drink? Yeah, because you're not actually going on dates. So then I realized, like, God, all these people are just full of shit. They just don't know anything. That's why I don't write about that stuff. Because everything is like, what? Only a white knight buys drinks. What if she's 30? Should I buy her a drink? You're again asking dumb comments because you're not actually doing anything. Woof, I know. They're idiots. So yeah, that's why I don't write about any of this stuff. Come on. You can get up. Come on. We're going to go hike. Come here. Let's go. No. Don't rub on your belly. You want your belly rubbed? Dante wants his belly rubbed. How much was your trip to Peru to try ayahuasca? I did ayahuasca in South Africa, actually. How much was it? Nothing. I just $100, I think. I paid the shaman $100. I've watched Mike forever, and this is the first time seeing him live. Welcome. Did the judicial branch overstep their authority? The decision was lawless and unconstitutional. So they have power, they have authority, they have power but not authority. So a ruling that is unlawful. Hey guys, wait, okay, I don't want you tripping over cords though, okay? I know you're excited. You can come up here. Don't you have 2 dogs? Notice you senpai. Hi, Michael. Yes, I have 2 dogs. I'm a dog person. Yes, anyway, that's why I don't write about any of the relationship stuff anymore, because you attract people who are like, yeah, man, I never buy girls drinks. But you're going on dates all the time? Sure thing, buddy. Sure thing. So that's where you learn in life. When you actually live it, you realize who are telling the truth and who are just online keyboard warriors. The same thing with fighting and deadlifting. You know, it's kind of funny. I've been to, to every gym. I've been to the biggest gyms in the world. And if you go on an internet message board, every guy on this message board deadlifts 405 pounds. If you go to any internet message board, bodybuilding.com or MISC or anything, they all deadlift 405 for reps. Every guy there does. I go to Gold's Gym in Venice, the mecca of bodybuilding. I've been to every big gym, you name it. There aren't that many guys deadlifting 405. Deadlifting 405 is actually a lot of weight, especially if you're not on steroids. But on the internet, they're all doing it. On the internet, every guy is doing it, but then when you go to the gym, it's like, well, where are these guys who are all doing 405 for reps? Where are they? They're not at Gold's in Venice. There are a few, don't get me wrong. But if you go by the internet, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this and doing that and doing... No, boy, same thing with the girl thing. Same thing with the girl thing. Oh yeah, I date hot young women, but I never buy a drink. Right? Oh yeah, man, only white knights buy drinks. I date the young hot women. I've never bought them a drink. Okay, then you're not dating young hot women. That's just a fact. Because young hot women don't have money. Why? Because young people don't have any money. I'm not beefing with anybody in particular, just the whole culture. That's why I don't do anything with the whole game culture. I don't want anything to do with it. Because I don't like being around liars. The same thing with fitness. I don't like liars. Right? All these guys, oh yeah, man, I'm all natural. Just creatine. Just creatine and protein and dedication. No, come on. Steroids. Right? Same thing, like when I was on the good stuff, the trenbolone acetate, Trenace, I was just like, yeah, this is what I look like on Tren. This is what I look like all natty. Right? I hate liars. I hate liars, and I hate people who are like, yeah, man, I just do creatine and branched chain amino acids. Never done steroids. And they're all lying. You took roids, you hypocrite. That's so stupid. Maybe you're being sarcastic. I'll give you a free pass. No, I'm not on steroids now, but the point is just be honest, right? So you can always tell who's living the life and who's not. Because there are certain things that if you're living the life, you're going to say, best advice for a senior in high school, take a year off, don't go to college. Take a year off, get in an apartment with 4 other guys, go wait tables, make money, shout you out. I've shouted you out. Don't go to college, take a year off, go wait tables. If you can find a way to make it to Thailand, somewhere like Chiang Mai, go there, try to make a living online, take a year off. College is going to be there. College will be there when you want to go there. People think I'm 18. 18, bro. I was like this when I was younger too. When you're young and driven, you think I'm 18, I got to do all this stuff. 18, got to do it. Just take a year off. If you want to go to college, it'll still be there. Just leaving Florida. Hold on, I'm going to tweet Trump's thing. Yeah, you don't got to do it. So many people waste their most productive years going to college. Exactly, your most creative years. Going to college. Don't do it. Take some time off. If you ran for government, I don't know if I ran for government. I don't really understand that. Man, there's some people really obsessed with me. You loser, troll some more on Twitter. Ha ha ha. Would I bank Kellyanne Conway? I don't answer those kind of questions. Come on, guys. After I took 2 years off, I came back really motivated and smashed university. Yeah, 18 is too young to go to college. Eric says he hasn't used shampoo in 2 months. Hair's never been better. Thanks, Mike. You're welcome. One day your hair will be like this. What's my favorite meme? I don't know. I still like the general feels good man meme. Do I have any tips for sleeping? I do. Dangerandplay.com. Danger and play. Sleep. I'll post a link. See, a lot of y'all realize that my best writing at Danger and Play was done a year or two ago. It was before I did all this political stuff. I don't like doing politics. I don't like the political stuff. Whoa. Damn. A friend of mine just sent me the 2017 M4. Whoa. Damn, it's looking good. But I wouldn't buy a new car. I would not buy a new car. Why? Let somebody else have the depreciation. Why? Because money. Ain't what you make, it's what you keep. It's covered in Gorilla Mindset. Yes, I think I just sent a link out to you. You got to read the old school Danger and Play stuff. But as I was saying before I digressed, my best writing is like 2 years ago, before the political stuff. I don't really like the political stuff. Had to do it. It's a necessary evil. Right, just buy a car certified pre-owned. Which car do you have now? I don't have a car. I don't have a car. But I'm going to get a car. I'm going to get a convertible. Anyone got an Audi? Not me. The best thing to do is get certified pre-owned BMW with the inline 6, and then they can tune it. You can do a lot of things with the BMW. You can get a 3 Series, or it would be 4 Series now with the new, if you buy after 2014. You can do a lot with the 3 Series or 4 Series BMW. Because I had a 3 Series, I had a 335i convertible. 335i convertible with a straight 6, right? But then I got an aftermarket intercooler, new intake system, fuel flex switch, so you can run ethanol. If you're not a car guy, you don't know what any of this means. If you are a car guy, then you can get it. You understand where I'm going with this. So you can take a 3 Series or 4 Series certified pre-owned BMW and get it almost as good as a stock M4. You'll be surprised. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with it, with a BMW. BMW is fun. Does Shauna want a minivan? No, she has a the SUV she has. 2 most important supplements after magnesium. Magnesium, of course, is the most important supplement everybody needs. Then it'd be fish oil, and then it would be hydrolyzed collagen. So if I could only take 3 supplements, I would take hydrolyzed collagen, magnesium, fish oil. What do you think WikiLeaks means by Vault 7? Nobody knows. SARMs, you don't know what you're getting. It could be anything. Could be anything. Cod liver oil is good too. How do you naturally increase testosterone? I showed that. Danger and Play. So what I did is I actually just posted... I posted how to increase testosterone, and I posted my blood work. Unlike all these other charlatans. Naturally. Yeah, so my best writing is 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'll post a link here. You don't even squat. I haven't squatted in a while, actually. Why? Because, man. ROI. Have you ever had a bad breakup? Yes. I did. Why? When I was young and I had no mindset control. So you think, oh, I'm in love, and there's only one person, and then you realize that love is a drug. Love is a drug, and you have to become unaddicted the same way as any other drug. Right? Love is a drug, and people think, oh, I'm in love, blah, blah, blah. And you got to realize it's a drug. You just got to quit it. Quit the drug. And there is no one. There is no one. There is no one. Dumbest thing you can believe. There's like millions. You're not special. She's not special. Just remember that. You're not special. She's not special. Your life will be way better that way. Just, even me, the world is going to keep going without me. The world is going to keep going without me. All right, we're going to go for 8 more minutes. We'll take a few more questions. I like to keep these right in an hour. Why? Well, if you can talk for an hour, if you can banter for an hour straight, then you are doing pretty well in life. If you can banter for an hour, you're growing. Me, I'm not special. I know, you'll get over it. At what age did you get your shit together? That's a tough question. Man, the younger Cernovich was very, very hardcore. So my life was like, and then I went, and then I went, and now I'm. So here's a graph. Poor Mike Cernovich, poor little Mike Cernovich, and, poor little Mike Cernovich. Bullied kid, fat kid, poor kid, spent a couple years on food stamps. And then martial arts, Cernovich, driven Cernovich, really inspired Cernovich, Army Reserves, National Guard Cernovich, college top grade Cernovich, law school scholarship Cernovich, law school Cernovich, falsely accused of rape Cernovich, low point. Falsely accused, sucks, oh, this is terrible, I feel sorry for myself. Start to get over it, Cernovich. Start to get over it, okay, plateau. Relationship isn't really what it needs to be, isn't where it needs to be. Okay, gotta go, be free. So now I'm here. So I started at the bottom. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. So if all you see me is from where I'm here, from the bottom, you're like, wow, that must have been a nice trajectory. But you realize there's a whole swath of time here that was not good. It was not good. Whole low point, My life is, I've spent more years in the aggregate low than high. That's definitely true. Most of my life has not been good. That's life, man. But when it's great, none of the others, here's what I always tell people. It doesn't matter where you are, because when you get here, it doesn't matter what happened back there. That's where people go wrong. People are like, wherever you think you are forever. But when you make it, when you finally make it, you don't sit back and be like, oh God, boy, that was real hard. That was tough. That's why you got to have a life vision. When you have a vision of what you're working towards, all you realize is that this is short-term setback, no big deal. So now that I'm here, I don't think, oh boy, it really was tough all these years down here. Real hard, man. All that matters is now where you're here. That's all that matters. Focus on getting here. Can't focus on when you're down here. Focus on here. Vision. Vision. What is my next vision? Audacity. I want my book on personal branding and mindset to be the best book that anybody's ever read. I want it to be monumental. It's my next vision. 5 more minutes. 5 more. You're excited about Audacity. That's great. You should be. It's gonna be special. That's why I'm taking so long on it. I took a long time on Guerrilla Mindset. And I'm taking a long time on Audacity because I want it to be legendary. I want everybody to be like, wow, have you read this book? You have to read it. When will I be on Stefan Molyneux again? I have an open invitation. But Stefan Molyneux and I are both sort of the mindset, what can we talk about that we have to talk about that the people really want to know? If you want me to talk to Stefan Molyneux on a show again, we're good friends. We talk all the time. Great. But you need to pitch. You need to say, you know what? Stefan Molyneux and Cernovich, here's what you should talk about because only you two in the room are going to be able to have this conversation. That is the way we think about it, is what is a unique conversation that he and I can have that's really going to blow people away. All right? It's kind of how we think about it. Cerno bro, who's the most cancerous SJW in your opinion? Boy, there are so many of them. Silicon Valley, there's so many of them. Chris Sacca is pretty bad. DHH is pretty bad. I'd say DHH, Chris Sacca is pretty bad. Sam Altman is pretty bad. Because they fire people who vote for Trump, and they believe that people who support Trump should be essentially have their lives and livelihoods destroyed. That makes you a terrible person. If you want to destroy a person's livelihood because of their disagreements, then you're a pretty bad person. Can you make podcasts with Wall Street Playboys? He doesn't want to be recorded. What do you think of ANCAPs? Good idea, but it'll never happen. Do you consider Islam a religion or a political ideology? Great question. Both. Both. Yeah, DHH is a real cancer on free speech. He wants to ruin the lives of anybody who disagrees. I have never tried to get somebody fired for supporting Hillary Clinton or Obama. I wouldn't. It's not American. But he's trying to get everybody's lives ruined. But meanwhile, he goes to Qatar, where there's still slavery and legalized rape. So these people hold court like they're so holier than thou. Joe Rogan still hates me. That's just just never gonna happen, guys. Cernovich and Joe Rogan podcast, it's never gonna happen. No biggie. What do I do? Nestor's a good friend of mine. Those of you don't know Nestor Mendoza, good friend of mine. Mechanic, got a YouTube channel going on. I do a live stream with him. 2 more minutes. Do you know Bill Warner, PhD? I don't know. The name sounds familiar, but I don't know that I've read his stuff. Parenting podcast with Stefan Molyneux, that would be good. You're like the 5th person to ask me if this is Starbucks. Does it look like it has a logo? Locally owned. Would I ever do pornography? No. Do I read any fiction books? I should. Do I care about fiction? Yes. You should read a lot of fiction. It makes you more empathetic. It makes you understand people better. You understand the political condition better. Think floods will be bad in the spring? No opinion. Do you know Peter Schiff? No. But I read his stuff for years ago. Peter Schiff was one of those guys who has been saying, doomsday, 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 doomsday. And then there's a market crash and he goes, I told you. That's Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff is the ultimate, the doomsday prophet who predicts doomsday every year for 20 years. And then when it happens, he goes, look at me, I'm a genius. I predicted the collapse. You predicted nothing. You predicted nothing. For 20 years, you said there was going to be doomsday. And then finally it happened, and then you say you predicted it. That's bullshit. Favorite fiction? Best book I ever read fiction would probably be 3 best fiction books. Okay, we're going to leave it on a book recommendation. This is the first 3 that came to my head, so I'm not going to argue. The 3 best fiction books. I'll tell you right now. 1, Catch-22. Catch-22 is top 3. Catch-22. And these are, I'm not saying this is the best 3. I'm not saying 1, 2, and 3 in order. I'm just saying top 3. Catch-22, Blood Meridian, Bonfire of the Vanities. I'll say that one more time. Catch-22, Blood Meridian, Bonfire of the Vanities. Bonfire of the Vanities. I'll give you a quick reason why. Tom Wolfe, The Bonfire. It's actually The Bonfire of the Vanities. I'll tell you why. The Bonfire of the Vanities is the best book on the New York social status state of mind. Read that book. Read good fiction like it's nonfiction. Right? In terms of literary interpretation, why is Blood Meridian unreadable to you, Stephen? I'll stay on long enough to hear your response to that. Read good fiction as if it's nonfiction, because it is, because the writer crafted the characters based on his or her belief on how human beings do act, would act, or should act. Right? So in Bonfire of the Vanities, actually one of the reporters in there is based on a character composite of Christopher Hitchens. There's a character in there based on Al Sharpton. Read Bonfire of the Vanities as a nonfiction look at race hustling, racial politics, mob culture, outrage culture, and then the emptiness of the social status rat race game that people play in New York. So, top. Blood Meridian is the most accurate book about what people are like without civilization. If all you do today is go listen to Judge Holden's speech on war, Judge Holden, Holden, Judge Holden. Go to YouTube, listen to Judge Holden's speech on war. Blood Meridian is what humanity would be like without Western civilization. Even though that's not the point of the book. The book isn't a critique on anything. It's just a fiction book. But that is the most accurate representation of what we would be like if we didn't have Western civilization. That's Blood Meridian. Catch-22 is the best look on human psychology. Yeah, Harrison Bergeron's a good story. Kurt Vonnegut's written good stuff. Catch-22 is the best look on just the irrationality and absurdity of war, particularly, but in human decision-making in general. So that's Catch-22. Atlas Shrugged was good, but again, it was a little tedious. So, yeah, 1984 is good. I've read all those, the classics, Animal Farm. What was Huxley's book? Brave New World. Yeah, I've done all that. I've read all that. But I'm telling you books that are a league above it, right? I'm saying if you only read 3 fiction books, if you're only going to read 3 fiction books, Blood Meridian, Catch-22, and The Bonfire of the Vanities. Dostoevsky's great. I mean, but this kind of like saying is pornography, are there hot girls in porn? Right? I mean, it's like, yeah, of course. Is Dostoevsky good? Yeah, of course he is. But Blood Meridian, The Bonfire of the Vanities, and Catch-22. Crime and Punishment is a good look on the need to confess as a human being. Look, there's a lot of great books out there, but I'm going to name 3. Thanks for tuning in. Mike Cernovich, DangerandPlay.com, Guerrilla Mindset. I'll link to something real quick. Books to read, Danger and Play. I'll post one more link before we go. This is 10 books men should read, but I mean, everybody can read it. I just primarily men at the time read me. I got more women books now. So if you go into the comments section right now, you can see my link of 10 books that all men should read. Thanks for tuning in. Mike Cernovich, DangerPlay.com, Gorilla Mindset. Hit the replay and watch it from the beginning.